Hello, this is Geekto Studios, and it looks like I'm back, hopefully for good. This is me still playing Skyward Sword after getting past several things, not least of which has already been covered in my video. Now, I'm just going to try to get into the shop. So, I can talk more when I'm not piloting a Zelda drone, but, you know. Come on, ring that bell. Ring that bell. Yes. Okay. When I last left off... That's not who I wanted to talk to. There we go. Okay. When I last left off, I was talking about Anime North 2015. No, Anime North 2016. And it was, you know, about a year ago, and I was planning on cosplay for, you know, Anime North that is past. Now, this being October 2016, it looks to be, with the way I have my filing system, that my last recording was a year ago, and everything was ready to render, and by the time you see this video, the video that took me a year and a half to record, edit, and render is finally up. And what do we got here? Ooh, heart metal. I think it's one of my favorite metals in this game. Blah blah blah, you should find out for yourself. It's real bargain at 800 rupees, not yet. Thank you! It Beetle. I remember from Wind Waker. Alright. That's what I want. Nice. More inventory space. Goals. So, it was about October or August of 2015 that I was talking about getting ready for a convention in mid-2016, and now it's late 2016, and I'm getting ready for a completely different convention, but at least the last couple of conventions have gone really well. Both Con Bravo and Unplugged, and soon a Catacon. Even though I won't be cosplaying for all of them, I'm still on a roll. I'm getting work done, I'm looking for an adult job, extra wallet, also useful. I seem to remember that the wallet and the inventory space is something you can keep buying in Skyward Sword until you max things out. And the wallet would be really good to have, because the more money you have, the easier it is to max out your money and just buy all the stuff that you need. This is definitely one of those games where you need a lot more money than you have in the past. But there's also the capacity to carry a lot more, too. And it's kind of disjointed all over the place, but I'm still trying to cover and finish what I was talking about in my last couple videos, as well as talking about Skyward Sword itself, because both those things are things I wanted to do by having this video. Ooh. I need bugs for upgrades. Not yet. 32 rupees. Bugger. When I get to the point where it'll be easy to farm coins, I'll probably do that off screen, because you really don't need to see me do that for a few hours. So... normally I read the dialogue, but I'm more just trying to cover the sort of blogness that is these Let's Plays. So, in December of 2015, I started working on my Wormwood Saga cosplay, but by somewhere between January and March, I started getting rolling bits of depression, where I'd have a few days of solid activity, and like, this is productive, this is great, I'm gonna be finished on time. And then I'd have 1 to 3 days of, I don't want to get out of bed and eat. It was really bad, and it just came in wave after wave after wave. That hasn't really relented until about the last 2 months. August? No, I think it started losing frequency in June or July. And that's when I decided to make a puppet for Con Bravo, and meanwhile I'm talking all this, I can actually show pictures of, like... So... here's the Raya cosplay that the picture of her that I'm going to be copying for Anime North next year. And this is the puppet that I made for Con Bravo from Undertale, and this is the cosplay I entered into the competition with at Unplugged, just so that I could take the puppet and turn it into an entire outfit, because honestly, the puppet and a shirt just really wasn't good enough, so I really upped my game between Con Bravo and Unplugged. And I ended up not placing, but I ended up hanging out a lot with the other cosplayers. Of which there was only about 8 other cosplayers in that whole competition. I ended up doing a lot of hanging out with all of them, exchanging contact information and getting business cards. Now, normally when I get home from a convention, I have a pile of business cards of like vendors and stuff that I want to buy later, either online or at another convention, or stuff that I want to learn to replicate myself, just so that, you know, I can make myself. Like, to be honest, the Flowey puppet isn't... do I need any of this? I don't think I can afford any of this. But I made the Flowey puppet because I wanted something I could cosplay with, and I have a Flowey puppet on my desk because I wanted to make some kind of Flowey statuette after finishing Undertale. Now, I know comments are not heavily trafficked here, but I would be willing to play through Undertale on my channel, but as I'm really, really early in Skyward Sword, and my productivity is, I'd rather keep it a Skyward Sword for now, and only if I finish the game or get really stuck will I do another game, because I'm just enjoying the calmness that is this game. Also, I'm getting used to controls because it's been a few more months since I played this. So, but at this point, I think I should head to the Elden Province. The next area. You know, the Death Mountain area. First, there's this forest area, then there's the mountainous area. The mountainous area has fire. So, as I was saying, I ended up making friends on social media, following each other back and forth on Twitter, that sort of thing. And the pictures have started... That was... Alright, today is Wednesday. Unplugged was last Saturday, Sunday, and the pictures are starting to flood. Oh, that's what I forgot. I forgot to press the button for my Loftwing to appear. And... yeah, we friended each other on social media. Wait, where's the button for Loftwing? The sun is okay. The sun is shining on my white wall and reflecting onto my television right over where the controls are for this game. So I don't remember how to summon a Loftwing, but it's not working. I will get this. I will get this. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Forest area, Elden. I think that's a warp door over there. I'm gonna go there. Slow down. Yeah, it's definitely what I want, a warp rock. So... oh, there we go. There is a flap up. Sorry, I'm just distracted by the controls I'm still getting used to using. Oh, good. He drops me automatically. So, I made a bunch of connections with the other cosplayers, made friends. I'm hoping to see them at Anime North. Some of them are a bit younger than me, so this was either one of their first conventions or one of their first conventions in Toronto after emigrating to Canada, or this was their first competition. And believe me, I have no hard feelings whatsoever for the people who won instead of me in the novice category or best in show or the specialty categories. It just, they really deserved it. At this point, because of submissions and guidelines, and I don't own the imagery, I don't want to share their cosplay here. But I will show pictures of my own cosplay, you know, images that I own or created. Yeah, this is where I want to switch to my iron shield. And I need a forward spin to put out the fire. But they really deserved it, and I'm friends, and we were like exchanging tips and hanging out and talking, and they're like, maybe they'll do Fan Expo or Anime North or both next year, and I'm telling them if they want to see me again, and they want to see amazing cosplay and continue to do their amazing cosplay, they will get a far larger benefit at Fan Expo. Because I don't have anything against Fan Expo per se, because of the star power they have, and various other things and panels and events and loads of vendors. But Unplugged Expo and... Whoops. Unplugged Expo... No! Sorry, Unplugged Expo and Fan Expo have Expo in the name because they are for-profit conventions that are usually headed by companies. Now, that also means that they tend to have a lot more money, which means they could do things like they can afford George Takei or William Shatner's fee and have like loads of star power go there. But because they're in a convention center downtown, they're really packed in, and they have really huge numbers in a few small buildings, which means that there's a lot of lines. So there's a few good things you really want to do, and the rest of your time may be spent in lines. Anime North is much... you're currently attempting to ascertain the location of Zelda. Are you familiar with how to use dowsing? Yeah, I don't need to hear that again. Of course you do, blah 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 blah. I remember her voice. I will do voices. I just have some crap to get off my chest over the next couple videos. Where was I? Alright. There are usually celebrities at Anime North now, but they've grown so big and the rent is so much for the huge footprint they have that there are people that they cannot run the con with, even with the number of people that are going. The large space they have is so big that they can't get the biggest stars. Now look, there's still really big stars and notable people at Anime North. They're just not necessarily as big as Fan Expo, but so wait, if Expo means for-profit, what does Anime North mean? Anime North is for-profit insofar as much as they can run again. They're not necessarily non-profit, but they're more run by the fans and to be enjoyed. So there's like a huge space with less lines. A huge space with... The lines are less. Like, there are definitely lines where you may not get in the room, but you're not going to be in line for 4 hours to do a thing. Anime North, they keep people moving. They have a bigger space than downtown. So it might be exorbitantly expensive, as renting convention centers are, along with hotels, and a huge footprint, and they want to grow, and they have like 25,000 people there. And Fan Expo has around 30,000. But it seems more community, where Fan Expo is more business. Now, Anime North is still a business where they need to make so much money in order to continue next year. But the money is not the absolute top priority. Or at least it doesn't feel like it. Even though, technically, yeah, it is a top priority in order, to sustain themselves into next year. It's kind of hard to describe, but definitely the fan-made ones, look, I guess money still is one of the top priorities at things like Anime North and other fan-run conventions. It's not the only thing. So, I know there are people that have done both of those two conventions, and as far as I know, they're the biggest nerd conventions in Toronto every year. And they've been around both for years. Anime North for around 20, and Fan Expo for nearly as long. But because there's a much bigger community and money's not the only thing, it means that people who can't necessarily afford Fan Expo's $120 weekend ticket, which is a ticket to wait in line and spend money, as opposed to Anime North, it's a ticket to a Weekend of Awesome. I know Weekend of Awesome is Unplugged's byline, but Anime North is definitely awesome, and you don't need to spend money beyond food in Anime North or transit or hotel room or whatever, because once you're in, you can enjoy everything. Like my booth, where I work at Anime North, like I people watch, so I get to see all the cosplay. And at Fan Expo, there was definitely cosplay, but that was 5 years ago. I thought it had changed. I talked to people who had been to both, and just the cosplay game is both higher and just more common at Anime North, and there's definitely a much greater sense of community. So even though Unplugged was an expo, because it was so small this year, meeting up with all the other cosplayers, I still felt that sense of community, and this much smaller footprint meant it was much easier to see people again and hang out again and continue to talk and be like, oh, I might not be here tomorrow, let's exchange Facebook names or whatever. But that's pretty much my thought about Fan Expo versus Anime North. I also work at Anime North, so there's that. I don't work at Fan Expo, but when I hear that Fan Expo is like, the weekend ticket is twice as much as Anime North, and I know the lines haven't gotten any shorter, I don't think I'm ever going to go. So if I can convince those other cosplayers to do Fan Expo, to do Anime North instead of Fan Expo, or both, and meet up with them again, that would be great, because I'd like to finally, group cosplay and just really be a bigger part of the community, as opposed to just watching from my seat at the conventional weekend. But that's my thought about cosplaying, and for now, I'm going to end this video with the brothers. I don't remember their name, and I will see you guys in the next video. This is Geekto Studios, signing out. To be continued next week.